My name is Riley, and today we're going to do a brief walkthrough of how to use the new Rams Involved community page. The first thing you want to do is access the website, which can be found at communities.fordham.edu. When you enter this link, you will be asked to log in to your Fordham account, as I'm doing here. Once logged into the portal, you will be directed to the home page that you can see on the screen. There's a couple of different major points to access that you can find from the home page. When you scroll down, you'll notice the Welcome to the Rams Involved community sign, where you can browse clubs, which will take you to a list of all the clubs at Fordham, or go to My Clubs, which is clubs that you specifically are signed up as a member of. When you scroll down a little bit further, you'll see our featured organizations, which is CAB, Commuting Student Association, RHA, and USG. On the right of these links, you can see quick links, which are important pages and forms for club leaders to access. There's COVID guidelines, programming best practices, as well as how to do your elections virtually. In addition to that, you can request access for your club email. You can access your e-board through here. If you want your club to be featured on OSI, you can do the social media promotion request, and all the other forms are pretty self-explanatory based on what you see here. We have an order form, a MetroCard request. If you spent money for a club program and need to be paid back, that would be the reimbursement request, etc., etc. Finally, under that, you see a button that says Contact Support, and this is where you could reach out to different members of OSI to potentially answer your questions. Any and all things that you will need for your club can be found in these club forms. If you have a question outside of what is listed here, you can email us at studentclubsrh@fordham.edu, but before you send that email, please check first to see if your question or request is not already found in the club forms on this page. When you scroll below, you can see a total list of all the calendar events that are featured for the week. So here you can see the week of November 15th to November the 21st and all the events that are happening this week, as well as where they're located and what time they are at. In order for your event to be featured on this calendar, you need to submit an event request, which we'll get to in a second, and be approved by your advisor and by the OSI team. You must give 7 to 10 days in advance for your event request to be approved. And these events on the calendar is how we put together our What's Going On email that goes out at the beginning of the week, every single week. So if your event request is not submitted on time, or if it's not approved on time, and your event doesn't show up on the calendar here, it won't be featured in the What's Going On email. This is also a really great resource if you're not a club leader to click through and see the different events happening in a very short and easy to read format. Next, when you go back to the top, you'll notice a couple of other major buttons. Next to the home page is the Browse Clubs button. When you click here, this will take you to a complete list of all the clubs. You'll notice there's a search bar at the top where you can search for a specific club you're looking for, or you can scroll down and see all the clubs in alphabetical order, like I'm doing here. You'll notice some clubs have pictures in front of them and some clubs do not. I'll get into that in a second, but as a club leader, you can very easily customize your page for what you want to see on the front of the page like this, and here's just a couple examples of what all the other clubs have done. Very self-explanatory, very easy. You can access an individual clubs page by clicking on it here, or you can go to My Clubs and access it that way. If you're trying to start a new club, at the very top, it says a link to apply for a new club can be accessed through that hyperlink. Next, over from Browse Clubs is Event Request, also a very, very important feature for all club leaders. Regardless of whether you're having a virtual or an in-person event, you must submit an event request if you would like to be approved by your advisor, if you would like this to count as an official event on your operations packet, or you would like to be featured on the What's Going On email or social media in any way. You must have an official event request. There's a couple different things that you need to note when you're filling out an event request. Event name and event title can be filled out here. That's very self-explanatory, and there's a couple of examples of what you can include as potential names for your event. For event type, you can pick Rose Hill or Lincoln Center. For us, everyone should have Rose Hill. And then you can search an organization through here. Now, if you are a new club that just got approved, it might take a little while for your club to be listed as an organization, but if it doesn't pop up right away, you can search it, and then you can also star clubs that you access quite frequently. Expected head count. Again, regardless of whether your event is virtual or in person, we ask that you required an expected head count of how many people you would like to be there and a description. This description is what will show up on the calendar if anyone were to click on your event. Now, event date and event time is very, very important. Like it says on the directions, if you are having an event that starts at 11 a.m., but it's going to take you an hour to set up, you need to request the time from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. or however long your event's going to be. So please be sure to account for how much setup and end time you're going to need to start the event if you're doing an in-person event. In addition to that is the day you're having the event. So you notice here you can click a repeating pattern button to select the date. I am one of the co-presidents of Sláinte, and we practice twice a week. So when I request events for practice, like I'm doing here, you can see that I am clicking days that I would like the calendar to repeat on. So if I'm requesting a practice space from 8 to 10 every Sunday and Wednesday, I just go in and click 8 to 10 for all the months that I want to be having practice on every Sunday and Wednesday. So my event request is submitted once for all of those practice dates. So this is something to keep in mind if you're having an event that's reoccurring or a reoccurring meeting. Underneath this is event locations. So here you can search all your different locations and star locations that you use frequently. You can also mark all spaces Rose Hill campus and scroll through all of the available spaces in alphabetical order based on what's available. If you're doing a virtual event, you want to click this search button here and type in virtual, which will show up as a McGinley virtual meeting Rose Hill, and you can hit request available. Again, all that does is indicate for OSI that this event will be happening online. When you scroll below here, you will see event resources. So if I were to request McGinley Ballroom, for example, it will show the capacity that's available, the dates that are available, and all of the different resources. So if I need a microphone, if I need a projector, I can request that here, and I can request how many. Again, it's important to be specific so OSI knows what exactly they need to provide in advance of your event, and any comments you might have about the setup can go here. Again, if the event is virtual, a lot of this will not be applicable, but if and when we start moving to more in-person events on campus, these are all very important things to take into consideration. Finally, when you fill out the completed event, you'll see a list of questions at the bottom, which aren't featured here because I was testing it, where you can say if Fordham students were coming, if Fordham alumni are coming, if Fordham faculty are coming, and then questioning if you will be having a guest speaker or food on campus. You mark yes or no depending on the question, and depending on what you mark, you may get additional questions. They will also ask you who the contact person is for this event. So if you are the treasurer, but your president is the one running the event, then make sure to put your president's email in there. So if you're requesting an event for your club, but you're not going to be the contact person, just make sure whoever is the contact person is well aware, because they're going to be getting the email from the event space email to confirm when and where the event is happening. And then finally, there's an acknowledgement at the end where you can click I agree. And this acknowledges that you plan to follow all the COVID programming rules, as well as everything that you've written is as accurate as you can make it for the event you're trying to have. And then you can hit save or submit. And then you wait 7 to 10 business days, and you will hear back from EventSpace confirming your event. So that is one of the most important things that you need to know on this website. Finally, what you can do is go to My Clubs back at the top, and you can see all the clubs you're a part of and what your role is. So here you can see that I'm a part of student government, but I'm a member, whereas I'm the co-president of the Irish dance team. This gives me very easy access, so I can click here on Sláinte's page, and that will take me to the page that I am a part of. So here, this is important to know as a club leader of how you can operate. You have the option to make your club public or private. If it's private, people cannot join your club without getting approval from somebody who's listed as an admin or a manager on the club account. But if it's public, anybody can join at any time, and everybody can see what's being posted. So here, if you scroll down, this operates a little bit like Facebook. You can see our previous post about auditions, to sign up, and Zoom meetings and different things that we have going on. So if I was a student interested in learning how to Irish dance, it would be very easy to click here and see what we have doing. We can also see polls that we send out here, or any questions that we're asking or have received from other people. In addition to that, at the top right, you can see group details. Like LinkedIn pages, this is where you can add a little bit of a bio about your club. So if new students are looking to join and want to know more about what you do, this is a great place to include that information. In addition to that, you can see all the files we've uploaded and our records, as well as see all of the people that are part of our club that are signed up as members. In addition to that, I can also email people from the club account, which is very nice, edit the group, manage the notifications I receive, and then manage all the members that are in the group. Something else important to note is if you go up here to club details, this is where you can see all the information. So you can see what kind of club we are, how we're funded, where you can contact us on social media and our email, as well as all of the members and their emails. And you can see our budget request at the bottom, and you can submit a new budget at the bottom as well. Finally, you can go up at the top to notifications to see any notifications you may have, as well as click on your own profile where you can add a picture. So if I click home, that takes me back to the home page. My profile gives all my personal information, contact support, which will take you to the student club's email to submit, and then finally I can log out of the page at the end. So I hope this was a helpful, brief overview of how to use the Rams Involved community page. As always, please reach out to student clubs at rosehill@fordham.edu if you have any questions, or to come to the OSI office to ask. And hopefully this helps you in your programming now and in the future.